Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jackie Lee. Today on Tarot Whispers, we're going to be looking at the Emperor. So, the Emperor is all about authority, structure, stability. A lot of times in a tarot reading, it could represent people in authority. So, something like a police officer or government official, the government in general. It can represent even spiritual leaders. That does tend to be a little bit more the hierophant. However, with the emperor, it could definitely, because they are an authority in your life. So it's kind of like the rules, the structure, the norms, right? This is all represented by this. So, but it's a very powerful figure, very dominant, very rules based, I suppose, right? Like there's a system in place, there's a structure in place, there's a stability in place, but it's this overall ruling, overall arching authority that has sort of set these rules in place, set these guidelines in place, and that they're to be followed, right? So it can be in your life a very stabilizing factor. Police are great in our life, right? We all want police officers around, and we don't have police officers around, chaos would start breaking out, right? Well, I can just break into your house and steal what I want because there's going to be no consequences unless you intend to come after me because there's no police. So, the emperor can be in your life very beneficial, providing the structure, providing the stability you need. However, it could also be negative too, right? Like when that authority oversteps its bounds, or when the structure is too rigorous or too tight. There's not enough of understanding that everybody's circumstances are different, right? Yes, this works 90% of the time, but there's still the 10% of the time where we need to be flexible and we need to bend. And this can be a little bit of inflexibility. So I am going to pull out my board now, and we will do some automatic writing and see what the spirits have to say about the Emperor. I will remind you, I do dub over it afterwards, so sometimes it can sound a little off, depending, and I do have trouble reading my own writing sometimes, so sometimes I struggle with that. So I'll be quiet for a moment, just get into my meditation so I can start listening, and we will see what the spirits want to tell us about the Emperor. The Emperor is all about the authorities and the structures in your life. It represents stability and the way it has always been. It represents the traditions that have come forward to today to provide us all with stability and functionality. But their structures must always be questioned and be looked at for changes and improvements. What worked in the past will not always work
in the future. What was accepted in the past will not always be acceptable. You must respect authority and its structure, but never follow it blindly. Never trust that all leaders and all authority structures are in the highest and greatest good of humanity. Question things, change things, adapt things, ensure all structures and authority are in the best interest of all. Question, ask questions to ensure everything is the best it could be. And do not be afraid to make changes to the system. All systems function until they don't. Don't accept authority just because it is authority. Use your discernment and find the structures and rules in your life that work for you. You do not have to live by someone else's rules. You must live by the rules and structures that serve you and provide you with peace and stability within your own life. Love.
Okay, so spirit wants you to know that the emperor is about these power structures, right? These structures and that do bring stability with us. They come from tradition, right? We have jails. That's not a new concept. That's something that's come from us in the past. and that's fine. Excuse me. And they do provide the stability and the functionality and the sort of, people understand what to expect, right? This is how we did it before. We know this is how it's going to be done in the future. But don't be afraid to question those authorities, to change the rules, bend the rules, move the rules. And I'm not saying like murder's wrong and now I'm just going to go out and I've changed the rules and now murder is okay. No. That's not what this is about, right? But this is about if you have a group and we only allow certain type of people in it, to understand that, okay, this is not a very good structure, right? We need to open this up. We need to be more inclusive. We need to invite everybody into it. So it's about looking at structures and looking and seeing what is good about that structure, and we keep it if it's good, and what's bad about that structure, and let's make changes, let's make adjustments, let's bring it into modern times, let's bring it into the modern era. I mean, a lot of times these rules that are on the books of various countries, most of them have been there for tens of years, sometimes hundreds of years, and there was no iPhone. There was, all these sorts of computers, technology, internet that didn't exist before. So if we just relied on our previous laws before we got the internet, those aren't going to cover. Those aren't going to cover things like harassment over the internet, fraud over the internet, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is very new. So we have to always be looking at the structures, the rules that we have in our life, whether that's from higher powers such as a church or a government, or whether that's just the rules that we keep within our own home, and adjust them so that we can, all of us, everybody, you included, obviously within your home, you adjust your rules so that your life functions the best, so that you can live in peace and harmony. And in terms of the government, obviously it takes a lot longer, a lot more has to be done to get those rules changed, but you focus on activism, or you focus on, I'm going to go and I'm going to get elected to the government to help make these changes so that everybody within the society is working from a equal playing field, has equal rights, has equal protections, those type of things. So I hope this message helped you, and I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.